Hi guys, hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Jean Roberts. For those of you who are new here, I was born in Grenada, and Grenada is a small island in the Caribbean, and came to Canada in the mid 80s, and then moved to Banff, Alberta in the 90s, in the late 90s, and I haven't left. Mainly right now, I stay in Kenmo, Alberta, Canada, and I love living here. We're in the middle of winter, so it's really cold outside. Well, mostly white. It's the holidays, so it's white outside. It's beautiful. I go out and make sure I get to walk in that almost every day. It's what I do. And here is what I'm excited about today. Today, I'm excited because I actually learned or didn't learn, or it came by accident, but I managed to take out the filter from my video. And before, I didn't know how to do that. So, bear with me. As I say, I'm an amateur. I just start. I have no idea what I'm doing. But what I know is that I want to come on here and share my life with you guys, share a few things with you guys. And if you haven't seen my other videos, I recommend going back and watch um, from the beginning, but I'll give you a recap. So, on my channel here, it's going to be everything life. And one of the biggest thing in my life is spirituality. So, I wanted to actually talk about spirituality first. And that's where, and it's a series in spirituality. I haven't numbered it, but that's what it is. It's a series in spirituality, and I'm just telling the story of how I start my spiritual journey, and ultimately I'm going to talk about how it's where well, I'm going to give you the whole journey and where I'm at right now. But in the meantime, I am just speaking from that aspect of how I started all accidentally. And I also talk about why it is I start my YouTube channel. And in that, I recommend really going and take a look at that, because I highlight all the reasons why it took me forever to start. And I think I'm going to do another video on that as we go along, for sure. Right? Because we're going to become friends. You guys going to show up and watch me, and we're going to have a good time. Yeah, I'm in my 60s. I am a natural human being. So, no makeup, and I'm showing up transparent and real. I hope you don't hold that against me. And if you do, that's not a problem. I invite you to have your own judgment, and we would all be happy in our own way of thinking or doing it. And I do hope I remember how to not have the filter on this videos, because I really prefer you can see my surrounding. This is a painting that a friend of mine in Grenada did. She sell on the beach in the tourist, in the vendors market on Grand Dance Beach in Grenada. And this is one of her painting, and believe it or not, I paid $100 for this painting, and I love it so much because it really represent, you know, life in the Caribbean, in Grenada, growing up in a two-room house, you and all the family, all the bougainvilleas and hibiscus and all the plants around. The sky is usually always blue, and the environment is almost always green, which is just beautiful. And I'm not sure, I often say this, in the window is just, people that is inside the house, and the light that is reflected in the yellow is like from the candle or whatever lamp you had lighting at the time. I thought I would share that with you. I know sometimes people come to my home and they like, oh, is this, was it a child that draw that? And no, it wasn't a child that draw it. It was an adult. And it's really, I love it because that's how I would draw. And I love that. This one here, which is a little bit almost blurry, this is the wheel this is basically the wheel of the year. It gives us And I actually commissioned this from a woman. And this, is part of my spirituality as well, because I live this. I live the wheel of the year as it goes along. And when I say I live this spiritually, when it is like, for instance, we just had the winter solstice. So, and this is where the winter solstice fall here. We just had the winter solstice, and I did a really big ceremony and celebration for the winter solstice. And when we go to February and we have Imbolc, again I participate in ceremony. So in all the solstice, the Imbolc, the equinox. As the year turn, I celebrate the earth, I celebrate the universe, and that is part of my spiritual journey as well. And this was commission. I got this commission by a beautiful woman that lives in BC, in Canada here, but it's in British Columbia. I used to be in a group that was called the 100 Day Promise. We had the same group leader, and ultimately, I asked her to create this for me. And this is something, if you know me, you would know that I give away all my stuff. I'm very big on living a minimalist lifestyle, but there are certain things I carry with me, and this is one of them. And I guess this year is also one of them. This is just a painting I met in this apartment when I started renting here, and I kept it because it is a painting of the environment, the mountains and all the lakes we have here in Canada. I didn't say all of that to get sidetracked. I'm just giving you a little bit of info into my life. So I stopped where, getting into my spiritual journey. I was talking about all the books that I've read in the last video. And I'm going to continue with the books that I've read. And one of them was A New Earth by Edgar Tooley. So, New Earth by Edgar Tooley. So I read the book, and believe me, most of it went straight over my head. I'm sure most of you know Edgar Tooley. He's a big spiritual guru. Him and Oprah, was in collaboration. He does meditation. He has his podcast. You can find him on own podcast as well, Oprah Network podcast, and he talks a lot about the present moment and being in the present moment, and life happens only in the present moment. And to be spiritual as a person for yourself, that's where you start. You start in the present moment, and always accepting what is there in the present moment. So always accepting that, and not really following the thoughts in your head that is not real. But in the New Earth, there is lots of information in there. And one of the things I had love about the New Earth book is that him and Oprah end up doing a 12-week teaching from that book. And I've done it so long that I can't remember everything they taught. But if you saw my book, you would just be amazed, because it was just a beautiful, beautiful lesson. And even back then, because I think I'll have to look it up. But when I did read A New Earth, I was still married. So that was more than 10, 15 years ago already. Wow. Ooh, that is a long time. Yeah, it's about that for sure. And anyways, I can't remember all of it, but as I say, the main thing in A New Earth has to do with being in the present, accepting where you are, meditation, how to live in your truth. And I recommend that a lot. And that was Edgar Tooley. Now, the other book I wanted to talk about, which I am going to go into a little bit of details, was Eat, Pray, Love with Elizabeth Gilbert. Honestly, as I mentioned, all the books I've read, like, and this is just not even that's just a little bit of just a tip of the books that I've read when it comes to spirituality, self-development, self-help, well-being. I have read it, I have done it, I have looked at it, I have signed up for it. Believe me. Self-development. If you're looking for me and I'm in a library, honestly, I'm in the self help department. I'm in the self development department. So that's where you would find me anytime, anywhere, any day. So I'm your gal when it comes to self help and development and well being and health. I am your person. Not even kidding. Yeah, I'm always, improving something in my life. I mean, at this point in my life now, I am more at a place where I am not anymore striving or fighting. I am more in the space of ease. Like that is something I'll talk about as well. But Eat, Pray, Love, I think was the catalyst. I think um when I read Eat, Pray, Love, I was going through, I believe, one of the most challenging times. It was around 2009. I have to look up when Eat, Pray, Love come out. But anyways, for me, it was around 2009. And I was in love with a man, but that man was not my husband at the time. And believe me, I didn't have an affair. We didn't run away together. This man didn't know that I love him. My husband didn't know that I love this other person. I love my husband, my ex-husband now. And no, this person that I was in love with has passed away very tragically, very, very tragically. And I can't believe I brought up this topic, but anyways, and I was glad that I actually ended up telling him before his tragic young death that I cared and loved him as a person. And I felt fortunate to be a woman who can love a man without being in a relationship with him. And that is something I would have to talk to you guys about. I'm going to write it down as a topic. You can love people. You don't have to be with them. That is okay because ultimately you can embrace this love. So, talking about Eat, Pray, Love came into my life at a time when that was going on. I was falling apart internally. I was very tired. I had a business that I was working and I was working every day. It was my own business I was running. I had about 12 employee and it was a lot. I was exhausted. I was burnt out. I was in a marriage that felt stagnant, with no movement. I didn't know what to do. I had no idea who I was as a person for myself, like clueless. All I know is that I was lying on in my spare bedroom in the house that I had shared with my ex-husband, and I was looking out the window, and my entire body was in vibration. You would think that it was in pain, but it was like it felt like it felt like I encounter a passion. This because I was feeding myself the love instead of giving it to this person that I felt like I fell in love with. And it felt like my body was in a vibration of passion and the kind of passion that I couldn't really get out of. I had to lie in it and I had to stay in it. And I'll continue this topic in the next video. Um, I'll continue sharing from there. I want you to like this video, subscribe to my video, share my video because this is a practice. I'm practicing YouTube right now, so bear with me. Again, I'm Jean, and like and subscribe to my channel because I am going to be sharing so much beautiful things with you guys. I'm going to be sharing about divorce. I'm going to be sharing about the spirituality. I'm going to be sharing about well-being. I'm going to be sharing about the books that I've read. I'm going to be sharing about the time that I lost my mind and end up in a mental hospital. I'm going to be sharing about how I recover from that. I'm going to be sharing about coming to Canada. Let's talk about it all. And yeah, meet me here again. Love you guys.